You're not lazy, you're not broken, and you're not unmotivated. What you've actually lost is control over your own life. That might sound dramatic at first, but the more you sit with it, the more uncomfortably accurate it feels. You wake up tired even after a full night's sleep. Not physically exhausted, but mentally flat. Your days blur together. You're busy, you're productive, yet nothing feels earned and nothing feels meaningful. You scroll, you consume, you distract yourself, and by the end of the day, there's a quiet question you try not to ask. What did I actually do today that mattered? Modern life didn't break you loudly. It didn't arrive as chaos, tragedy, or disaster. It did something far more subtle. It quietly removed responsibility. It quietly removed struggle. And it quietly removed consequence. Food arrives without effort. Entertainment never ends. Opinions are pre-packaged. Direction is outsourced. Even discomfort is optional now. And without friction, without resistance, without stakes, something inside you begins to fade. Not happiness, something deeper. Urgency, pride, inner fire. Ancient philosophers warned about this long before phones, algorithms, and office jobs existed. They understood something modern society has forgotten. When humans are shielded from challenge, they don't become peaceful. They become restless, weak, and hollow. Not because life is too hard, but because life stops asking anything of them. A life without demands slowly drains a person of purpose. Stoicism was never about being calm all the time. That's a modern misunderstanding. Stoicism is about authorship. It's about standing in command of your inner world, even when the outer world refuses to cooperate. It's about choosing responsibility when comfort is available. It's about meeting life directly instead of numbing yourself. Calm is not the goal. Strength is the byproduct. Right now, most people aren't truly living their lives. They're being managed by algorithms that decide what they see, managed by notifications that decide what they attend to, managed by convenience that removes effort, managed by other people's expectations. And when nothing truly depends on you, you slowly forget who you are. When life doesn't require you to show up fully, your sense of self begins to dissolve. Ask yourself this honestly. When was the last time something genuinely depended on your discipline? Not your credentials, not your job title, not your resume, your character. We're told the problem is motivation, or dopamine, or attention spans. But those are symptoms, not causes. The real issue is that modern life allows responsibility to be avoided without consequence. And when responsibility disappears, meaning goes with it. That's why people feel empty even when life looks fine. That's why comfort didn't bring peace. That's why distraction never satisfies. Because meaning doesn't come from feeling good. It comes from carrying weight. It comes from knowing that something matters because you are responsible for it. The Stoics believed a good life isn't found by avoiding pain, but by choosing the right struggles. Voluntary struggle, chosen hardship, not suffering for its own sake, but challenge that strengthens you rather than consumes you. A life without challenge makes the soul soft, and a soft soul cannot feel alive. Reclaiming control over your life doesn't mean quitting your job, deleting all your apps, or moving to the mountains. That's fantasy. Control starts internally, quietly, and daily. It begins by recognizing how much of your thinking has been outsourced. You don't decide when you wake up. Your phone does. You don't decide what you want. Advertising does. You don't decide what matters. Trends do. Over time, this erodes something essential. Agency, the feeling that you are steering your own life. Here's the uncomfortable truth most people avoid. No one is coming to give you your life back. Systems won't change. Comfort will increase. Convenience will deepen. The world will not demand more of you unless you demand it of yourself. Waiting for the environment to fix your lack of meaning is a losing strategy. This is where Stoicism becomes dangerous in the best way, because Stoicism says you are responsible anyway. Not for outcomes, not for other people, but for your choices, your attention, your reactions, and your standards. And when you reclaim those, something shifts. Energy returns, clarity sharpens. You don't feel euphoric, you feel solid. If this idea resonates with you, not emotionally but accurately, this channel exists for people who want depth, not noise. If you want more conversations like this, consider subscribing. And if a thought comes up while you're watching, leave it in the comments. Those conversations genuinely shape what comes next. Now let's talk about how control is actually reclaimed, not in theory, but in practice. The first step is to stop outsourcing small decisions. Decide when you wake up and stick to it. Decide when you eat. Decide when you stop scrolling. These sound trivial, but they're not. Control is a muscle, and if you never use it, it weakens. Small decisions rebuild your sense of authorship. Second, carry small, deliberate burdens. The Stoics believed voluntary discomfort trained the soul. Physical effort, cold, silence, not because suffering is virtuous, but because comfort makes you fragile. You don't need extremes, you need consistency. Doing difficult things on purpose reminds your nervous system that discomfort isn't danger. Third, reduce mental noise. Not all information is useful. Not all opinions deserve your attention. Protect your inner world like territory. The more voices you allow in, the harder it becomes to hear your own. Your life is shaped by the thoughts you repeatedly entertain, whether you chose them or not. Fourth, accept that control does not mean certainty. Stoicism never promised safety, it promised strength. You can do everything right and still lose. You can act with integrity and still fail. Control is not about manipulating outcomes. It's about meeting outcomes without collapsing. That's where quiet pride comes from, the kind that doesn't need validation. Finally, take responsibility without waiting to feel ready. Most people wait for motivation, inspiration, or confidence before they act. Stoicism flips that completely. You choose first. You act first. You commit first. And the feeling follows. Responsibility precedes confidence, not the other way around. Ancient people often felt more alive under harsher conditions, not because hardship is romantic, but because life demanded presence. It demanded participation. Modern life offers you the option to disappear without dying, to exist without engaging. Every day you choose that option, a little more of your edge dulls. But every time you choose responsibility, you reclaim a piece of yourself. You don't need to dominate the world. You don't need to be extraordinary. You need to be in command. Because you were not born to be managed. You were born to author your own life.